Okay, you know what? I didn't need to send any message or any mail because not only from our research team, but I've got at least 10 tweets telling me that this torrent is indeed the dividend. So
okay.
that
12 rupees dividend.
12 rupees the dividend angle. So the stock in the spot is up about 8% now. That is easily is your stock of the day. So 8% higher in spot, and the futures adjustment that you're seeing right now, 316 on the future. So that's 11.5 is the exact dividend. So that's factoring that in. So 10 point. So technically, it's a one rupee premium, 1.5 rupee premium, which is what it should be, because there's no shorting here as such. It's just that that difference. The market normally makes that distinction. The market is aware that there would be a dividend, so some adjustment is made already. But today you have that remaining adjustment which is made. So 8% higher on spot and 6% higher on futures.
Okay, got that math finally. So torrent up and away. It's also a good set of numbers, though the play is more dividend at the moment. Okay, let's get to earnings analysis again, and the stock now on our radar is, as we said, HEG, weak performance. Weak prices, high input costs both hit HEG in the third quarter. Manish Gulati, Executive Director of HEG, joins us. Mr. Gulati, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Can you give us a sense on the some basic numbers which we don't have, capacity utilization levels and the sales volumes? How did they shape up?
Last quarter, the capacity utilization was in low 50s, but in the future quarters, it's going to get better, because probably this was the worst capacity utilization we have seen. And the margins which have come under pressure is just because of the simple reason that electrode prices continue to drop, and we are having inventories of our prime raw material, which you know very well, which is needle coke. So that we have, and our minimum processing time is 2 months, and then we have 2 months always between our plant and Mumbai, and 2 months on high seas. So this is always this lead lag effect always causes this issue. When the electrode prices drop, we have to live with those till we liquidate those high cost inventories bought last year.
Okay, Mr. Gulati, good morning. But input costs like needle, coke is still at elevated levels. How long do you think this inventory will last?
It is going to last another 6 months. Okay. So maybe, probably about June, we should have this correction over.
Okay, got that. What are the prices on the non-UHP and HP graphite electrodes?
Prices for both, what we have seen in the October to December quarter, have bottomed out, definitely, because we know the cost, we know the raw material prices. There is no room for any more reduction, and I mean, now we are looking forward to getting the correction done in raw material prices so that margins can be back in place.
Okay, by the way, just look at MGL once again. That stock is now down about 4%. So there's that reaction. We will get an update going on that soon, but it is now 3% down on that stock. So I think the market's a bit concerned now, finally waking up to that. But let's get back to HEG. Mr. Gulati, in Q3, you almost delivered an EBITDA loss. Is it possible for you to deliver an EBITDA loss in Q4?
No. You should be fine for the Jan to March quarter. No.
And
I mean, this is about the worst we should see.
Okay, what has been the impact of the coronavirus on graphite electrode prices? Is it positive, negative?
Non-UHP inquiry, I mean, there was a large tonnage which goes out of China to many countries in the world, which is primarily non-UHP grade, and if the exports do not start or get constrained from the Chinese side anymore for any few more days, is going to cause an impact, and those inquiries then should start coming to us.
Okay, so non-UHP graphite electrodes is 20% of business?
Yeah, about, yes.
So give us an update on your capex plan then going forward. Are you going ahead full throttle in this weak environment?
We are vigorously going ahead with that, because it takes 3 years to build a plant. So that we are pursuing, and this would be ready for production by early 2022. So that we have not left that at all. In fact, we are pursuing it with a lot of vigor, and the total outlay was about 1,200 crores.
1,200 crore. How much of this 1,200 crore has already been spent? If you can give a breakup.
Yes, yes. About 400 crores has already been incurred.
And how much cash do you have on your books?
1,200 crores.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to borrow. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Gulati. That was most exhaustive in terms of detail. So if the big order is not serviced by China in UHP graphite electrodes, then there could be a bonanza coming the way of HEG. For the moment, of course, it was not very flattering numbers, but the market has not punished it so much.
Yes, you know what, for commodity companies...
I know this cycle you have to get it right.
You have to sell when the best numbers come, and and then wait for the worst numbers. So the best numbers came long back. As you can see, 12 months ago, the stock.
I know.
So that was the peak
Graphite was
earnings.
better than
That was
gold.
peak earnings. So I remember a time when Kane came out with worst numbers. That was the bottom. And when HEG came out with the blockbuster numbers, the only issue is you have to figure out if this blockbuster number is not going to be repeated next quarter as well. At that peak of the cycle, you have to guess. A lot of people can do that. Not everyone can do that, but it's about playing the cycle. But we have Mitesh Thakkar now joining us with his trading picks. The market's showing some momentum on the downside now, Mitesh, especially on the bank Nifty. Your thoughts here and your stock calls?
Yeah, Anuj, I think, two things. One, we kind of come back again from 12 to 50 zones. I mean, yesterday's high was 12 to 31, 32, something like that. And I think practically there. So this market remains range bound. Similarly, on the bank Nifty, it's 31,700, 750 on the upside to roughly about 31,000 on the downside. And we might now head towards the lower end of the range. So in the index, I think it might be a wise strategy to sell options beyond these boundaries for maybe the month end expiry and try to take them off in case the range is broken. But for the timing, it looks like this churning and the sideways action will continue. On the stock side, I have a sell on Justile with a stop at 500 for targets of 475 and a buy on Astra Micro. I think you referred the stock and I was looking at the chart. Excellent breakout taking place over there. So buy with a stop at 102 for targets of 120.
Okay, so just that, Mitesh, it's just actually the last few minutes of market weakness has taken it to your stop loss price. The market's just shown some weakness. So, but just looking at some more names, pull out MGL once again. Mitesh, your thoughts? It's it's a very strong stock, but today's move on the downside, 3.3% lower now.
It's been a very good stock, in fact, showing strong outperformance. But I think now what is happening is that a lot of volatility indicators are contracting, which means that the recent highs of 1240, which the stock made in last week of January, I think will be difficult for the stock to cross. And on the downside, you will see good support around the 1135.40 mark. So I think 100-point consolidation will happen in the stock. For the timing, I think it looks like the stock will just consolidate. Volatility is drying up over here.
Okay, fair enough, Mitesh. That's a lot of trading ideas. For now, just put out some more names. NCC just remains in a one-way slide. That stock now, after a long time, I think is at these levels like 46 or thereabouts. So that one's down quite a bit. Ashok Leyland is down about 3%. Par Finance, which came out with numbers yesterday, is having a bit of a rough day today. Apollo Hospitals, ahead of numbers, is a bit soft in trade today. IndusInd Bank actually is now breaking yesterday's low on IndusInd Bank. So that Moody's downgrade that you had yesterday, it opened lower, then it managed to sort of recover, but now it's almost getting back there. We'll take a break now. Up next, Prasad Patwardhan, Chief Financial Officer of ITD Cementation, will join.